So the next film we're going to be talking about is Jack, which is a 1996 ensemble cast comedy drama, which I think is more so a drama than comedy because that really made me cry. Um, it stars Robin Williams, Diane Lane, Jennifer Lopez, Fran Drescher, Bill Cosby, and Brian Kerwin. It was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Williams plays the role of Jack Powell, a boy who ages 4 times as fast as normal as a result of a disease, Werner syndrome. Probably said that wrong. A form of progeria. I probably said that wrong. So, going
No, you said it right. You said it right.
score. When looking at Jack, Tony, we'll start with you. What is your initial thoughts?
All right, Jack is, man, the things that they do well in this movie, they do so well. The things that they do wrong, they do so wrong. We talked a little bit before about the music in some of these movies. The music in this is terrible. And I really like Michael Kamen. His score for the Lethal Weapon films and License to Kill, amazing. In this one, it is so obnoxious. It's like ba-da ba ba-da ba-da kind of shit. I can't stand it. But the biggest thing out of this whole movie that they just nail and they hit it out of the park is the characterization of Jack himself. Robin Williams is so fucking good as a kid with this disease where, you know, by the midway point of this movie, you're not thinking of him as Robin Williams anymore. You're thinking of him as Jack, being a 10-year-old kid. And that's down to little details like his LA Light sneakers being untied when he's walking, and when he trips and he falls, and his reaction to scraping his knee and all that. He must have done so much research for this, and it shows. He is just stellar in this fucking performance. And it's really a shame that it's in a shell of a movie where you can't really give it that much critical praise without it seeming a little odd. You know, the Academy Awards, they are very political in a lot of different ways. And I think that a role like this, it's something obscure enough that they would never feel comfortable doing it, but they should have at least paid more attention to him for best actor kind of a role. Because, man, if you were going to cast somebody as a 10-year-old kid, who better than Robin Williams?
Eddie, what was your first thoughts of the movie Jack?
For some reason, it's not really it's far from being one of my favorite Robin Williams movies. Though his performance is great, there's something very annoying and very logical to it that I really hate. Is that progeria is not a disease where you simply age faster. Like you literally, there's all sorts of complications. You might not grow as tall. Your skin will be super wrinkled by the time you're 8, and things like that. Visually, it's not a nice disease. And plus, if you logically think about, this is really annoying about me sometimes. Like if you logically think about the aging of the human brain, he wouldn't be such a kid anymore. You know, like his brain would have developed fast enough that he'd have enough emotional control not to cry when he tripped, or to tie his shoes and so forth. So that's the only thing that kept tapping me in my brain. You know, saying, this is silly. This is heartbreaking, but silly. You know, so that's I have to get that out of the way. It's probably the low point already. Let me spoil that. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Otherwise, it was a very entertaining movie. Otherwise,
as always, when we talk about movies, and I like to say as always a lot because that's what I do. The casting is something we like to talk about. Obviously, we're talking about Robin Williams because of his passing and the legacy he leaves behind. But I think it's also we should note the fact that this is really one of Jennifer Lopez's first films. It may have been, I think it's like her 4th film overall, but one of the first ones that actually has some kind of mainstream, everybody kind of knows what this is. And also, it's Bill Cosby's last of his on-screen appearances that were not as himself. So Jack was really... He played the tutor who stayed at home with Jack and tried to teach him through school and introduced the idea of Jack going to public school. and Jennifer Lopez played the teacher. When it comes to casting, Tony, we'll start with you. How did you feel about the casting when it came to the movie Jack?
It's so awesome. There's only one negative, and that's the guy who plays his father, because he is pointless in this movie. He's got no characterization whatsoever, so any actor could have pulled that role off. But this is the only thing I've ever liked Jennifer Lopez in. And I don't even like her music either. And I think that she's overrated in every aspect. Her singing, her acting, her appearance. But she is such a great elementary school teacher in this. Diane Lane, stunner. 10 out of 10. She's a complete fox. So bypassing the idea of her being a good mom in this, I couldn't get past her appearance, because she's just one of the most attractive people in Hollywood, period. Fran Drescher is a perfect total fucking harlot in this movie. These little kids are amazing. The little nerd that was in like every movie around this time period is always fun to see. The little one little kid that parrots what everybody else says, and the two little girls. I mean, they are all so good in this. Even the fucking little Casanova kid, who I didn't even catch this when I had watched this movie years and years ago, but I never realized that this one little kid is got this thread growing out this whole movie of him being a total pervert. He's the one who predominantly out of everybody really wants to check out the Penthouse magazine. He says when they're, what do you want to be when you grow up? He says, I want to be a gynecologist. And she says, why? And he's like, you're the reason why, Miss Marquez. And I don't know if this kid was planned for him to say this line, or if he fucking ad-libbed it. And if he did, kudos to this actor for pulling it off. The scene where they are playing basketball, there's just this one quick line in the background where that little Casanova kid is what I'm referring to him. I think his character's name's George. He stands next to this other little girl, and he goes, hey, want to get a burger after school sometime? It's these little kids were just perfect for these roles, and the outside of the father, everybody else, Bill Cosby and even Michael McKean and whatever, they all just did exactly what they were supposed to do. But especially the kids were impressive in this.
Eddie, what were your thoughts on the casting for Jack?
Everything was coherent. You know, I don't think anybody outshined anyone, even Robin Williams being the focus. Although, I don't know, Jennifer Lopez is kind of silly. Even though she's very sweet, you know, like a school teacher and all, a very relatively simple role, if you ask me, but I don't know. She's not really like an actress, you know, so. I mean, I know she is. She's done some movies that I'm trying to force out were all respectable, but it's hard. No, otherwise, so, yeah.
Okay.
I have nothing to add about the casting.
Some facts about the movies are: it was released August 9th, 1996, with a runtime of 113 minutes and a budget of $45 million. The box office, it grossed $58.5 million. So overall, it debuted at number one, and it was moderately successful at the box office. Unfortunately for the film, it was unfavorably compared with the 1988 film Big, in which Tom Hanks also played a child in a grown man's body. Most critics felt that the screenplay was poorly written, not funny, and the dramatic material was unconvincing and unbelievable. Other critics felt that Coppola was too talented to be making this type of film, and it holds a 17% Rotten rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So, with our final Robin Williams film here on the For Real Movie Club, the fifth special film, Tony, we'll start with you. What were the high points, low points, and final thoughts on Jack?
Low point, that whole bar scene and the arrest, it's the weakest part of the movie, and everything really slows down, except for the fact that the cop tries to steal the Pog Slammer, which is actually pretty funny. The high point, outside of just saying any scene where he is really playing up the little kid thing, I like to point out the specific lines and stuff that I really like in it. And one of my favorite lines in the whole thing is when he's trying to figure out what he wants to be when he grows up, and he just says he wants to be alive. That's really that tugs at the heartstrings, kind of.
Ouch.
Eddie, what were your high points, low points, and final thoughts on the movie Jack?
Yeah, low points was the lack, complete lack of attention to the scientific facts of the disease. That's it. I would explain it in the beginning. As far as high points, yeah, some of the kid stuff that he does is hilarious. Like when they're having like the fart contest, right? Like there's a part where he farts in a can or something, and obviously his is gonna smell worse than the other kids. Like this is I think it was the kid with the glasses. Like he made this face that just like gagging. That was hilarious. Otherwise, there was something that I don't know. I guess me as a kid, I was always like this romantic where I had to pronounce my love to the girls in my class, and usually it wouldn't work out very well. But when he tried to tell his teacher that he loved her and wanted to be with her and stuff, I felt like, oh man. Been there. Not that I ever wanted, a teacher of mine, but I remember what it was like to be in grade school and want to, like in elementary school, and want to, do one of the girls in my class. Yeah, I'll tell you, yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I had Jennifer Lopez as a teacher, totally. Reverse pedophile. What's that called?
Awesome. On a scale 1 to 10, what would you give the movie Jack, Eddie?
I'd give it a 6. I give it a 6. It's entertaining, and that's what counts, I suppose. It's not out to be the greatest movie ever. What's really weird is that Francis Ford Coppola directed it, and I'm like, why did he do this? Is it because Robin Williams? Is it because studio budget, money? What is it? Like, it didn't make sense.
Tony, 1 to 10?
5. This is actually the weakest out of all the movies. And it's not that it's a bad movie. It's just not a strong movie. You watch it to see Robin Williams act like a little kid. You don't watch it because you had just gotten done 2001: A Space Odyssey and you want to watch the next greatest film of all time kind of a thing.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight in my panel here to discuss the works and life of Robin Williams and 5 of his films that have all eventually crossed our paths or touched us in some certain way, and not the inappropriate way. So as our final thing that we do on every podcast here at Mega Powers Radio, let's go around and see what everybody's doing on the panel. Tony, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, guys, as it's been mentioned multiple times, we now have our YouTube channel back up, and that might be where you're watching this right now in the archive version. Who knows if that's going to stay? Our previous channel, which was our second channel, got terminated the other day, and we're trying to sort that out. But if you are a fan of these podcasts and you want to make sure that in case this gets taken down a second time, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes and our Stitcher links. Those are not going to go down from Google being stupid. And you can always double check to make sure that you have the right links and everything on fanboysanonymous.com. Pay attention to everything else, of course, that we're writing and everything else, the other podcasts that are going on. For myself, if you're a fan of wrestling, go to smarkoutmoment.com. You can find a bunch of links to outside interference kind of stuff there. And if you would like to subscribe to A Mango Tree and Tony Mango on Facebook and Twitter, those links are all over the place as well. So just look around and you will see my name plastered all over the internet in good ways and bad. Maybe not the Celebgate thing, though.
Yeah, then break into the iCloud. Eddie, what do you got going on, my man?
Yeah, it's Sunday and I woke up at 3, so I don't know, nothing. No, let's get serious. I'm working on sound effects and music for Fanboys Anonymous. So pretty soon you're going to be hearing some cool stuff in videos and broadcasts and stuff. Assuming Tony approves. So then I generally have a lot of stuff going on musically. But I'm trying to write a novel as well. It's slow. It's a slow process. Sometimes I talk about it here. I mention this here. Sometimes I don't because it might take a few years. I don't know. Sweet. But you can go to eddiesiqueira.com and all my Twitter feed is there as well as some of my portfolio.
Cool. And for those of you, I'm your host, Chris the Dace Man. Dace, you can follow me on Twitter at the Dace Man. Check out everything that's going on at fanboysanonymous.com. check out the Dace Man Show Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. We just did an interview with Galactos Pastries and Space the Game. We'll be having another interview coming up September 10th with CMAG Games, and another one that we'll be announcing for October. So, we're moving on to things there. Check out oldtimewrestling.net. Shows pick back up next Saturday, 2 p.m. Yours truly, with my tag team partner, Dre the Dragon Drummond, will be going for the tag team championships against Mean Streak. So Wild and Crazy's coming for him, baby. And check out things coming from Basement Protocol. We'll be launching our web series, hopefully, in the middle of September. So we will see when that debuts. Filming's underway. Hoping it'll be edited soon. So for the few, the proud, and the Dace-tacular, and all you movie fans out there, for the For Real Movie Club, myself, Tony Mango, and Eddie Siqueira. I do it right?
Yep.
Yeah, got it. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Robin Williams, for everything you've ever done for us, for all the movies, all the laughs, and all the tears. This has been the For Real Movie Club. Keep on watching.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm too old for this.
Good day, sir!
You stay classy, San Diego.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I'm finished.
That'll do, Pete. That'll do. Hasta la vista, baby.
Hey, everybody! We're all gonna get laid!
You're still here? It's over. Go home.